tried. I went back and forth, because I basically had decided I was going to stop using the hard drugs I was using, and I had sweated it out in over a weekend, and I had been sober for a while, and then, I got pulled back into it. You know what I mean? So, like I said, it does happen, but you just got to keep on pushing with it.
And now when you find yourself in a pickle or like having a problem, whether it be who knows what, job, a relationship, a friend, whatever, like you find yourself in in that moment, now you call the right people. Like, how do you handle those?
Well, for me, because when I tell you that I lost everything, I really did. So I lost my corporate job I had for 5 years. I lost my home. I lost my vehicle died, so then basically my comeback, had to be pretty big, right? At least so basically the night before I was getting my car, that was my, second goal, get a job, get a car, get a place. I had a situation, and I was in Detroit. I was in a hotel room. I was sad. My family were literally 10 minutes away and nobody could or would see me, COVID, all that good stuff, I didn't think about it at the time when I was in that situation. I didn't think, okay, Shannon, you need to, do A, B, and C, and D because you're feeling like this. I didn't have a, conscious plan. It was just reach out to, somebody that I cared about, that I love, has known me forever, 44 years. That's right. I just said it. 44 years.
Dang, you're the oldest one in this room.
I am, and whatever, and I'm the cutest too. So, sorry, Mark. Except Marty, me and Marty. Sorry, but
that was a quick walk back.
Yeah. Hey, listen, us girls got to stick together,
right?
Okay. But nonetheless, so yes, I did that. I did that, reaching out, and I actually had reached out to her, and then I had reached out to someone else who was in recovery, who didn't give me the best advice. To be honest with you, they were like, well, go ahead and do it. And if you do it, I'm not going to judge you, but don't do it. Like, no, that's not what when someone's fighting, basically, it's like light and dark or good and evil, or, like literally the next day I was getting my car, getting a car, and I hadn't had a car in a year. So to give up, even because I was sad, you know what I mean? I was in my head, I'm in a bad spot. And to have someone say, well, if you're going to do it, you know what I mean? I won't, that's not what nope, I don't want to keep talking to you, so I did that. And I actually, I was really vocal about what I was going through. There was a gentleman outside of my hotel room that had drugs. He was trying to, talk to me. I tried to hide in my room about it. And my friend and her husband advocated for me. They basically, even though I was like, I'm a grown adult, I don't need anybody, I was hiding in my room because smoking a cigarette because I didn't want to even see this guy. I was really trying hard, even though I was so sad, and so down and fighting it so bad, And she's telling me, like, hang on, Shannon, you're getting this car tomorrow, everything, you've been, working so hard. And I'm like, yeah, okay. And her husband basically called the hotel. I mean, I'm from Detroit, and I know some people, and they basically, he tried to get the gentleman on the phone because I said, this is where he's at. He's right 2 rooms down from me, and he wasn't able to get him on the phone, but he called the hotel and he had me moved. They had me moved in the middle of the night. He said, she's a tiny little thing, blonde hair. You can't miss her. She said, I know who she is. Well, get her moved or else I'm going to, make a trip. We have to keep her safe. And that's what they did. They advocated. And the next morning I got up, I went to get coffee and walk across the street, and that man was outside of that room just waiting for me, I just kept it moving. So I am not without those moments, just like everybody else in recovery. But my will is just, it's just stronger, I guess, at this time,
That seems like a very critical point, though, in your recovery.
So critical. Like, I was literally, not to be dramatic, but I was saying, it's however you want to say it. You could say good and evil, light and dark, happy, sad, all of those. I was literally at that moment fighting, because yes, here is one of the second goal that I, needed to check off my list 3 weeks early, and I can just hang on a little bit longer, or because I'm sad and it was 4th of July, family holiday. I was by myself in a hotel room in Detroit. But I made it through, so I got my car,
Isn't that crazy that like one different decision could have just completely...
Yeah.
You wouldn't be here right now.
I know, I wouldn't be. I
remember that.
Yeah.
I remember that time.
Yeah, I drove back and called her. I talked to her for like, I don't even know, like an hour. Like, oh my God.
Get back here.
Get back here,
I'm proud
yeah.
of you. Get back here.
Yeah. I really, honestly, I mean, I obviously being in recovery, you can't ever say that stuff doesn't cross your mind. It does. But my will, my desire for what I want to achieve is so much stronger that I'll endure that to keep pushing, you know what I mean? But if not, if I'm struggling, you do what you're supposed to, tell somebody so they can talk to you, advocate for you, come up with a plan, which is what they did, they went behind my back, even though, you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm a grown adult, man. I'm from Detroit. I can do anywhere, go anywhere, and I've been around this country. I can walk around anywhere, but they were looking out for me, which was cool. And
you were vulnerable, not only
I was so vulnerable,
but
more
emotionally
and mentally. Yep. So shout out to them, Kevin and Kelly. What's up?
Yeah.
Yeah. But it does, and that's and it wasn't a big deal. I mean, I was a little embarrassed, but it wasn't a big deal for either one of them, to do that. And like I said, I was embarrassed, but I'd rather go through a little embarrassment than to make a big misstep like that.
So it's okay to ask for help, is what you're saying.
Absolutely. Anytime. It's better to ask for help. Then there's a little bit of a cushion, you know what I mean, if you are struggling, There's nothing wrong with saying, hey, I don't feel right now. I feel like I want to do this, whatever it is. I want to have a drink, whatever it is. It's okay to verbalize that to somebody that will then talk to you about it and try to help you, sort through it, maybe come up with a better option.
And I bet you both have done this at one time. Like when people come up and ask you, hey, how's it going? Mm-hmm. Oh, it's fine. It's great. And really, it's horrible. But have you ever just fired right back off with, well, you got a minute? If you ask me a question, I'll give you the answer. Yeah.
Anybody that knows me will tell you that I'm definitely really straightforward and honest. And there's been times where it's like, you want to know? Because I will tell you. But also the same thing with other people, Sometimes I might try to egg a little bit out of them, you know what I mean, just to get them to say what's going on. Because if I'm telling them they're having a bad day, works both ways.
Yeah, you're really good with that.
Yeah, I try.
You're really good. Shannon, just congratulations, is now moving out of transitional housing.
Whoop, whoop. Yes, I am. Headed to North Carolina.
Yeah. And
so excited.
She's had this plan for how long now?
I've had it since January is when I first started, but March is when I was in treatment beginning of April. So March, beginning of April, I come out of treatment, and I had in treatment the whole time. I said, I'm doing this treatment, and I'm going to go tea house. Then I'm going back to North Carolina. I will be in North Carolina before it snows. And I know, I love North Carolina.
And she tells me she's going to make a list. I said, I want to see it. Mm-hmm. And that was however many months ago.
Yeah, it was basically my goals when I had gotten out of treatment and then went to the tea house. I was there maybe a week or so trying to get adjusted. Now, I've never been to I'm a good girl, so I've never been caught anyway. So I've not been to jail or any kind of incarceration. No, I know. It's shocking, right?
Yeah.
I know, right? Like I said, I haven't been caught. But the thing is so it was an adjustment when I got out of treatment, because I wasn't locked down in treatment, but you know what I mean? I had never had any type of restrictions like that on me. So it took a week or two to kind of adjust. And then, I started with goals, and I showed Marnie, and they were simple. They were like, my cell phone had broke. It was like, get a cell phone immediately. And so that was, okay, so then, and I had get a job by the end of May. Then I had get a car by the end of July, and I also had the money I was trying to figure, and I wasn't shooting. like high, being unrealistic. You know, I'm like, okay, I need a car, maybe get a job to have a paycheck and go buy here, pay here or something. You know what I mean? Put $1,000. I didn't care. Like, however I needed to do it, I was going to do it. You know, I wanted the car by the end of July, and I wanted to move back to North Carolina by the end of October. So, yeah.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It feels so good. Scary. I'm a little scared, but like excited, scared.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah. So, and that's what I did. And each goal I achieved early, like weeks early, which was cool.
Yeah, because you had job on there, and it was like 2 days later you had a job.
Yep. Yep. And
Very attainable and very smart how you created them. So
measurable. Yep. Just like you're supposed to. And realistic. Realistic. But I definitely worked my butt off this summer for sure. Took advantage of you know, of living in a tea house and being able to save up some money. And I'm telling you, I worked in a motel. I detailed cars. I did people's laundry. And then I got a job as a nanny, and I worked for 70 hours a week, July, August, and September. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, I remember when I was your stage a long time ago.
I know.
No, it felt so amazing. Like I pulled out, because I knew I had a list of things that I wanted, and one of them was not settling and finding someone worth my love.
Oh,
What's up,
I know.
Kara?
Isn't that
you
so
got a
cute?
good one too.
And I didn't settle, but that was one of them. But and that was more of a long-term goal, but it was still on there. It was something that I wanted.
Yeah.
And I'd read a book by Steve Harvey called Jump, and you know, he said God can't give it to you if you don't ask him for it. You know, so
That's right.
part of making that list was like asking God for it. And you know, I pulled out that list, and I was talking to my friend Chris Goss, who used to be on the podcast, and I showed it to him, and I was like, look, Chris, you know, look. And in Chris's eyes, like, he just was like, whoa, like, he couldn't believe, you know, the things that I had accomplished already at that point. And that was only 6-7 months or something like that, you know, and 8 months. I don't remember.
No, you definitely have to put it out there. You have to put the intentions out there, and you can't really, like, I don't know, your mind is so powerful, like, not to be too corny, but seriously, I don't like to speak negative things out loud. I don't, like, you know, if somebody says something in a negative way to me, you're not going to say that because I don't want you jinxing me, you know.
No peckerheads round.
No peckerheads. You can take that outside. You're not going to ruin my plans and what.
This is true. This is true. I vouch for that.
Yeah, I don't. And I mean, and it's, like I said, it's not without adversity or without family or friends or people saying, why do you want to go here? You're going to, you know, why you need to do this. And, you know, no, because this is what I want to do. I love North Carolina. I love Michigan. I'm a Michigan girl, but North Carolina is warmer, and I'm sorry, I don't like the snow. So it is what it is. So, and
you know, like you said, putting people around you, you know, that are saying that good stuff and not the negative stuff. Because I mean, if Marnie and I had to walk with you a mile every day, and you were talking about North Carolina every day, beautiful, it's great. By the end of like the second week, we would be like, wow, we got to go to North Carolina. It's beautiful there. Like, we would start believing that, you know.
Yeah.
And, oh, man, we got to go to North. Like, we were on a go, you know.
Absolutely.
You know, at the same time, if, you know, you walking a mile with you every day and you're like, oh, man, I hate that. We'd start developing that too.
My back hurts. All that stuff.
It's not fun to be around. And sometimes we have to catch ourselves because, you know, and I try not to spread negativities. I mean, we all have those moments, though.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
And it's frustrating sometimes when things don't go our way. The best thing I can do is I kind of approach it like, hey, I'm coming up to this wall and it's still there, so I'm gonna go around it, you know. And there's many times, especially with starting 217 recovery, where I've hit these walls, or I've had these obstacles where people just don't get it. And okay, thanks. Let me just go around you then, and you can figure it out later. My job's not to explain things to you and how life works. My job is to move forward in my recovery, and if people listening, you know, can listen and go, wow, like Corey did that, and Corey's not afraid to say he's in recovery. Corey is proud that he's living a life that is good, that doesn't involve alcohol, and he's trying to keep it positive and, you know, trying to help other people. Yeah. You know, that's what I try to do, and if they can't understand, they just gotta go around them.
Yeah, you know, I mean, you can't.
It's not their fault.
Yeah. And sometimes you have to show people. Sometimes you can't tell them things. I mean, you can tell somebody something all day, but sometimes you have to show them so then they really get it, you know? Like, yes, I hear what you're saying, I understand what you're saying, and your concerns are valid to you, but this is what I'm going to do.